How's it going, everybody? Welcome back, and today I'm excited to be reviewing Blue Apron, which is a meal delivery service that provides pre-portioned ingredients and recipes to customers who want to cook at home. Now, as someone who has quite a bit of experience in cooking, I was very excited to try out Blue Apron, and in this review, I'll be talking about the overall quality of the service, what I really like and what I don't like, how the food tastes, would I recommend it, and whether or not Blue Apron is a good fit for you or your situation. Now, if at any point you'd like to check out Blue Apron for yourself, you'll find helpful links in the description down below, including a discount code if you'd like to save a little bit of money. Now, Blue Apron offers a subscription service where customers can choose from a variety of meal plans, including vegetarian, low-carb, and family-friendly options. If you're a vegan, however, there's really not much for you here, unfortunately. Although they do have plant-based options, most of the recipes still include dairy, so they're not truly vegan. Alright, now once you sign up for a plan, you'll receive a box of ingredients each week, along with step-by-step recipe instruction cards. Now, when compared to other meal kit services, I did notice that taking everything out of the box and organizing everything may take about 5 to 10 minutes, whereas with HelloFresh, for example, each meal comes in its own box, so I didn't really have to organize anything with HelloFresh, and I can just throw them straight into the fridge as soon as I receive them. Although that's not such a big deal to me personally, I do like taking a quick look at the ingredients before I place them into the fridge, and the spice packets and recipe-specific ingredients still come in their own closed bags, which Blue Apron calls knickknacks, so you won't have to worry about using the wrong ingredients or anything like that. And speaking of ingredients, I do have to say that the veggies feel firm, and there's this crisp to them that really accentuates their freshness. So I do love the overall quality of the ingredients. And that also extends to the meats and chicken brands that they use, which also are of very high quality. Although if you're going for any of the Beyond Burger options, keep in mind that these Beyond Burger patties are quite a bit processed, so I would steer clear of them if you don't like processed patties. But again, if you want to have a burger and you don't eat meat, then these will be a great option nevertheless. And as far as the meat and chicken, according to Blue Apron, none of their suppliers support the use of any growth promoters like added hormones and such. And with regards to fish, some of it is farmed and some are actually wild caught. I'll put a link in the description if you want to find out which is which. But what's nice is that you do have the option to exclude specific meats from your diet like pork, fish, or poultry, and you still have the option to customize some of the meals, so you could either switch to a different protein or even get the vegetarian option. And regarding the freshness of any of the ingredients, should you ever not be satisfied with them, Blue Apron has a guarantee that takes care of that, so no worries at all on that front. And when it comes to making your meals, you can either use the instructions on the recipe cards, which I found to be very easy to follow, or cook along on the application with how-to videos if you prefer that. And I've noticed that most of the Blue Apron recipes have a lot more ingredients than most of the other less expensive meal kit services. And that's because other services make kits that are simple by design. But with Blue Apron, these recipes are a little more involved, they take a bit more time to prepare, and have more ingredients, resulting in meals that have very nuanced flavors to them, which is really nice, especially if you're preparing food for your significant other or family and you really want them to enjoy it, or if you want to impress your date and simply enjoy quality restaurant level meals. So if that's what you're looking for, then I assure you taking the time to make these gourmet recipes is definitely worth it. But of course, if you're looking for fast and easy recipes that are still very delicious, Blue Apron has those on offer as well. And they also offer Weight Watchers recommended recipes, and they're fully integrated, so it makes it very convenient to use. Now, one gripe of mine that's worth mentioning is that the ingredient quantities with some of the recipes are very precise, which leaves little room to taste the food as you're cooking it, as opposed to HelloFresh's often more generous portion sizes. I do like to taste my food as I'm cooking it, even if it's pre-portioned and I know exactly that it's going going to taste well, I still like to give it a little taste. Maybe I want to add some of my own spices or season it a little bit more. So that's a bit of a negative for me. And regarding the portion sizes, for example, if you're bodybuilding or training, you might want to order extra servings with some of the recipes. And that's some of the recipes, not all of them have little portions. Although I really like that each meal has all the nutrition facts like calories, fats, and proteins, which is great to keep track of your intake. But yeah, personally, as somebody who trains quite a few times a week, I found some of the servings, not all, to be on the smaller side. Granted, the quality of the food felt like it's a level above HelloFresh's, so keep that in mind. Okay, so it's high quality. How does it taste? That's a great question. Now, one of the great things about Blue Apron is that the food is as good, if not better, than what you get at quality restaurants. However, one potential downside is that some of the meals are a little on the exotic side with the flavoring and ingredients. For example, I love the simplicity and tastiness of the garlic caper chicken. But on the other hand, the peach and fontina grilled cheese is a recipe that I personally am just not a big fan of. However, one thing that you can do is to, for example, taste the sauce before you add it to your food. So let's say you get a steak with a particular sauce that you're not really familiar with. You could just give it a quick taste before adding it to the steak. And if you don't like it, you still have a wonderful steak to enjoy, and you can add your own seasonings or use your own sauce in this case. Another thing I've noticed is that the seasoning that usually goes on the veggies tends to lack that oomph in the flavor. Like you may be adding all the dry seasoning on the veggies, but it ends up tasting like it's just seasoned with a little salt and pepper. But I personally like my veggies to have more generous seasoning, so that may just be me. On the other hand, however, all the meat and fish seasonings or sauces tasted so rich and flavorful, so zero complaints there. Either way, we all have our own tastes, so I think you can still take the liberty of adding your own seasoning, depending on your preferences. You don't really have to stick to the recipes 100%, and even if you do, trust me, you will not be disappointed. But as someone who has a little bit of experience in cooking, sometimes I do like to tweak things to my preference. Now, having said that, one of the benefits of how Blue Apron recipes are made is that you end up trying some things that you don't think you would like, but you actually end up really liking. So, for example, I never thought about adding creme fraiche to my French toast until I actually tried the sourdough French toast recipe, which is just a remarkable addition to French toast that I never thought of before. So now, whenever I'm making French toast for myself or someone else, and I want to treat them to something really special, I know how to elevate some of these meals to another level. And not just that, since a lot of these recipes have different ingredients that go well together, I actually learned a thing or two about flavor balancing, which is certainly a skill that carries over to other recipes. Like when you're making a specific dessert, you know that sprinkling a little bit of salt will bring out the flavors a little bit more. Because basically what salt does, it helps certain molecules of the ingredients release their flavor easier and more. It also suppresses the bitter taste perception, so whatever bitterness there can be in these sweet recipes are decreased by the help of salt. And that's what I really appreciate about these Blue Apron recipes. It's like they open you up to such a varied and interesting cuisine, but without having to visit restaurants all over the country. It's like Blue Apron did the research for you, and now they're just delivering these recipes for you to enjoy all of the comfort of your own home. And let's say you don't want to cook and you're just looking for meals to heat and eat on the go, or if you don't have the time to cook, Blue Apron does have those on offer. I've tried some of those, and while they do taste much better than your average 5-minute microwave meal, they're certainly not comparable to the zestiness in fresh stove-cooked meals. So if you have anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to spare, I would definitely suggest making your own meals. Now let's talk a little about the website. I do like the overall design. It's very easy on the eyes with a user-friendly layout. although initially I was kind of confused as to what options are available. So for example, when I was signing up, I thought I was limited to only 4 meals a week. But as it turns out, you can actually add a bunch more and you can have extra add-ons. And I didn't really think I could do that until I contacted the customer service and they explained it to me. And I suppose this is the downside of making the website too user-friendly in a way, because some of the details could end up being overlooked. But at the same time, I do understand why it's made this way. Because for some users, it could seem a little overwhelming and confusing to make basic orders. But the good news is, the support is super friendly and helpful, and you can just pick up the phone and ask them to show you how it works. So yeah, the downside may be that you'll have to contact their support if you're not sure about something because it's not so apparent on the website. But once you get that initial understanding, it makes the ongoing use of it so much better and straightforward. So I totally understand why they did it this way. But on another note, I do have to mention that while the cost of Blue Apron may be higher than your usual grocery shopping, the convenience of receiving curated ingredients that I didn't have to search multiple stores for and learning how to cook so many interesting recipes made it all worth the investment for me personally. And again, if you'd like to give Blue Apron a try with a little bit of a discount, feel free to use the coupon code I've linked in the description down below. Also, the customer service was very responsive and accommodating, so I appreciate their flexibility with scheduling and cancellations, because sometimes you may make an order and end up having to leave town, so you don't really have to worry about receiving your boxes still. If you're out of town, you can just ask them to cancel. Just be sure to tell them a few days prior. So ultimately, would I recommend Blue Apron? Yes, definitely. The main benefit is certainly the quality and freshness of the ingredients, but I think another wonderful benefit is that you're essentially learning to cook gourmet food and also expand your cooking skills. It's like you're buying a cooking course, but you're also getting to enjoy this amazing food. Personally, I found myself mixing and matching some of these recipes with other recipes, like recreating the garlic sauce from the garlic caper chicken dish to turn a basic dish like roast chicken and sautéed veggies into a much more interesting and flavorful platter that impressed my friends. And chicken and sautéed veggies is a dish that I make so many times and I've just grown kind of tired of it, so having this new knowledge from Blue Apron makes my basic dishes so much more interesting than what they used to be. So you could say that while you're cooking the Blue Apron recipes, you're also receiving cooking training at the same time, which is a great plus, especially that there is a very decent level of variety with the Blue Apron recipes. Now, granted, not all the recipes are going to suit everyone's taste buds, but most of the recipes are actually quite delicious. Overall, I would definitely recommend Blue Apron to anyone looking to streamline their meal planning and cooking process. And while there are areas for improvement, such as greater flexibility in meal selections, and perhaps also adding vegan options, or at least the option to take out dairy products out of the recipes, I still think Blue Apron is absolutely fantastic for those that want to learn how to cook amazing tasting food, or for those that already know how to cook but may be feeling a little burnt out and want a meal kit service to keep them interested in cooking, and want a meal kit service to either keep them interested in cooking or simply improve their cooking skills, and of course have premium food. And that is pretty much it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like. Let me know if you have any questions in the description down below, and subscribe because I've got more meal kit reviews on the way. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.